Coming up on Citrus TV News, live at 6.
The unordinary pick performing at this year's Orange Madness.
And scary news for basketball player Lamar Odom.
Plus an update on body cams for DPS officers.
All that and more, Citrus TV News starts right now.
From the Citrus TV studios, this is Citrus TV News live at 6, your campus news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Hunter Saenz.
And I'm Caroline Strange. The first 2016 presidential Democratic debate took place last night. But what moments are still being discussed? That's our top story tonight.
Last night was the first time the Democratic candidates debated the issue since announcing their candidacy. And boy, was it an interesting night in Las Vegas.
The debate was moderated by CNN's Anderson Cooper. Tonight we're joined by Talking Point's Mike Riccardi to discuss the big moments of the debate. Mike, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Mike, let's get right to it. Set the podium for us. Who won, who lost?
So both Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders camps are claiming the win in this debate. And I think a lot of political analysts would say that Hillary Clinton won. You know, she looked more presidential. She had those catchy one-liners that got a lot of applause. However, I think if you look at substance and the actual answers that were given, I think the win goes to Bernie Sanders. However, they were both set out to attend what they wanted to do, and they accomplished that. Hillary Clinton wanted to prove to be that candidate that Democrats have loved over the last decade, and she's not the candidate that the Republicans have been describing her as for the last year or so. And Sanders wanted to really reach out to that electorate that doesn't know a lot about him, and he didn't do the attacks like he said he would, and he left all of his issues out on the table.
And what do you think were some of the big moments from the debate other than Hillary, becoming the candidate that she wants to actually be seen as?
So I think the biggest issue is when they were discussing Hillary Clinton's email scandal, and Bernie Sanders interjected and said, you know, it might not be the best political calculation, but enough with your damn emails, let's get to the issues. They shook hands, they're laughing and smiling, and people loved it. So I think that was the biggest moment. However, there's a lot of big moments earlier in the debate. They really went at it on gun control. You know, both Hillary and O'Malley tag teamed and beat up on Sanders for his record. You know, they displayed a lot of differences. He said that he would vote for the legalization of marijuana. She said she wouldn't take a stance. He got accused of being a pacifist, while she got accused of being too hawkish and too early to use military force. So there's a lot of displays where these two had differences.
Now, finally, who do you think is going to be dropping out after this debate?
So I think the people that are going to be dropping out first would have to be the two losers that were Jim Webb and Lincoln Chafee. They didn't get a lot of airtime. Jim Webb came off as whiny and actually kind of conservative, and Lincoln Chafee had a big gaffe on his vote on the Glass-Steagall. Martin O'Malley, he may have done enough. It's still yet to be seen. He could stick around a little longer, but he probably didn't do enough to really jump right into that top race between Sanders and Clinton.
All right. Well, thanks so much for being with us, Mike.
Thank you.
And if you want more in-depth coverage of all things political, make sure to watch Talking Points this Thursday night live at 7:30. Orange Madness is getting some new entertainment this year. The event for Syracuse basketball will feature a performance by NF, one of the country's top Christian artists. His album Mansion was the top-selling Christian album for a week earlier this year. His performance comes 2 years after rapper Ace Hood was pulled from the same event due to concerns his lyrics were too inappropriate.
And students looking to get their flu shots had a chance today in Flanagan Gym. The Daily Orange reports Health Services was hoping the number of vaccinated students would be around 2,000 this year. Students who missed the clinic, don't worry, there are 2 more, one next Wednesday and one on Tuesday the 27th. Or you can still get a flu shot by going to the pharmacy inside Health Services.
The university has often been called out for transparency issues, but as Nick Papantonis tells us, one unclear policy was revised thanks to a student in the law school.
Like most students, when Zach Greenberg arrived on campus, he took a look at university policies. However, Greenberg is a law student interested in the freedom of speech and noticed that one computer policy infringed on students' rights.
It defines harassment as the sending of offensive or annoying messages. So what that means is that all online speech can be considered harassment because we've all gotten annoying emails, we've all seen offensive posts on social media, and because this policy is so broad and the language is so vague, it encompasses virtually all forms of online communication.
Greenberg took action and has been working with SU to change their policy. He says colleges should be more accommodating when it comes to the First Amendment so students can explore their own opinions.
As a student, I feel like the purpose of a university is to encourage students to have these intellectual debates about controversial and unpopular topics like affirmative action, abortion, gay marriage. And the only way we're able to have these discussions is if we protect the freedom of speech.
We also asked Zach where he thought freedom of speech should end and where unprotected hate speech from groups like ISIS should begin.
I think the line gets drawn between speech and between violence. Look, we have the freedom of speech. We should fight this out using our words and not actually hurt people.
Greenberg says he wants to spend his career defending people in First Amendment court cases. Reporting for Citrus TV News, I'm Nick Papantonis.
Thanks, Nick. Coming up next on Citrus TV News Live at 6, a new law requires body cams for all armed officers.
And one Wisconsin gun company is shelling out big bucks after a lawsuit was filed by 2 policemen.
Plus, an update on the downed Malaysia Airlines flight from last year. Stay with us.
The rest of the week after the break.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. Gone. No.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
So who's gonna do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice. And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
We couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
All armed Department of Public Safety officers are now required to wear body cameras. This comes following recent controversy over police interactions. I sat down with Associate Chief John Sardino, who explained what the expectations are for officers. Starting October 1st, the camera is now a part of an armed officer's uniform on the Syracuse campus. They're meant to record incidents where DPS is interacting with any community member.
Prior to that engagement, our policy requires that the officer activates the camera and then lets the community member know that they are being videotaped.
Sardino said there was apprehension at first, but officers are getting more used to the idea.
First, there's reluctance. Any change is hard. Once it was understood that, we're not asking you to videotape your meal break and when you're sitting alone in the car typing a report, it's solely for that interaction with the community. Most officers have gotten really comfortable with it and now see it as just another tool that will help them do the job.
Footage can only be stored for up to 14 days, but that's not their biggest concern right now. As the temperature continues to drop, there's no place to clip the cameras on their heavy winter jackets. Cameras sit at chest level, the best place to get a full view of everything going on.
If they had a bad interaction with DPS, we'd encourage people to report it as soon as possible, hopefully within that 14-day window, so that we have some video to go and look at and review the incident and what the interaction actually was.
Sardino said their next goal, as long as technology complies, is to have real-time streaming to their communication center so they can monitor incidents as they occur. One gun shop in Wisconsin is going to pay for the actions of its customers. A jury has ordered Badger Guns to pay nearly $6 million in a lawsuit filed by 2 police officers wounded in 2009. The lawsuit says Badger should have known the gun used against the cops was being sold to a person buying the weapon illegally for someone else. Hillary Clinton says she wants to repeal a law that protected the gun shop. And firefighters in southeast Florida were busy yesterday. A small plane crashed into a mobile home park and set 2 homes on fire in West Palm Beach. Investigators say the pilot and a 21-year-old woman inside one of the homes died in the explosion. No one else was aboard the plane when it crashed.
A nurse being treated for Ebola in London has become critically ill. If you remember, Pauline Cafferkey was cured of the virus last January after returning from Sierra Leone, but she reportedly experienced a relapse last week. Health officials say mental and physical complications from Ebola can last for years after treatment. And well, a zoo in Denmark has announced yet another controversial plan, this time to dissect a lion cub. The zoo humanely killed the lion in February for behavioral reasons and concerns of inbreeding. The zoo now plans to dissect the lion in front of children this Thursday for educational purposes. While many have spoken out against it, a European zoo organization has supported the move as a method to be educational. And a Russian foreign minister is criticizing the Dutch report that blames Russia for the crash of MH17, saying it's a flawed political move. The report accuses Russian separatists in Ukraine of causing the plane crash. The Dutch report says a missile was fired from a region in Ukraine and exploded near the plane, causing it to lose control and crash. All 298 passengers on board were killed, including 1 American. And now let's head over to Caroline and Lindsay to see what we can expect after the break.
Coming up next on Citrus TV News Live at 6, ICYMI fills you in on all the entertainment news you may be missing.
But first, what are you wearing to class tomorrow? We'll have the answer on the other side of the break.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
Welcome to Orange Press Pass.
Orange Press Pass is your ticket inside the Syracuse locker room. Hear from the coaches.
We got some open looks from the perimeter
and players.
Well, I saw pressure coming from the backside.
Get in-depth analysis, reports on site, and more.
Let's go on OPP.
Orange Press Pass, live after every Syracuse game.
Well, we started off the week with above high temperatures, and today nearly all of us are finding ourselves wearing jackets. Lindsay, is this cold weather here to stay?
Unfortunately, Hunter, the warm weather might finally be gone. Today, students saw temperatures in the 50s, very low 50s, with a wind chill that made it feel like 47 degrees. Humidity was relatively high from yesterday's rainstorm. As we look at Wednesdays of the past, we can see we're not nearly as high as we were in 1954, nor nearly as low as we were in 1993, but we fall right in the middle of our average range for this time of year with temperatures in the 50s. Now, as we look at current temperatures across the region, we can see most of the temperatures in our area have similar temperatures to what we felt today in the low to mid 50s. But as we take a greater perspective of the whole nation, we can see that temperatures in the Midwest are slightly higher, but still average for this time of year. As we look at current winds, we can see that Syracuse is starting to feel some of the gustier winds we're known for in the winter, but we're starting to feel them now in the beginning of autumn. Now, as we look at current surface temperatures, we can see that there is a slight current temperature high pressure system moving away from our region. That's what we saw yesterday. But as we look at current surface temperatures of the region, we can start to see a pressure system coming in from the north, but we should probably start to feel those effects tomorrow. Now, as we look at the Doppler radar currently, there's absolutely no precipitation on the horizon, which should leave for a very cool but cloudy evening. Now, as we look at tonight's conditions, we shall feel temperatures in the low 40s with pretty high humidity but low winds. Now, as we look at tomorrow's, we'll be experiencing temperatures in the low 60s, and we should definitely be seeing some showers. As part of this time of year, you're just bound to see some rain. And as we look at the 5-day forecast, we can see today we had mid to high temperatures in the 50s, but now we see temperatures in the 60s, and as we can see that we're going to see rain precipitation across the entire week. Unfortunately, you should carry your umbrella with you at all times because you never know exactly when that rain will stop. Hopefully, we'll start to see some clearer temperatures by Sunday, but for the rest of the school week, we should definitely see more and more rain.
All right, well, Lindsay, looking at that forecast, you have rain nearly every day. You have temperatures going down into the 30s on Sunday. Is the warm weather ever going to return, or is it cold weather from here on out?
You know, I would love to say that warm weather might be coming back, but it's starting to look like it's starting to feel more and more like Syracuse fall. We might even see some snow this weekend.
All right, Lindsay, thanks so much. And now we turn to something that we like to call ICYMI, or our In Case You Missed It segment. Here we bring you the latest health, entertainment, and consumer news. Here's Caroline.
Former NBA player Lamar Odom was found unconscious in a legal brothel outside Las Vegas. Officials say he was taken to a nearby hospital and stabilized. According to reports, he had taken Viagra and drank cognac. No further drug use has been reported. The 35-year-old retired from professional basketball in 2013. And the Peace Corps has gotten its highest number of applicants since 1975. The organization says they received 23,000 applicants, a 32% increase from last year. In recent years, the Peace Corps has made the sign-up process simpler. And the Mount St. Joseph's girls basketball player who inspired the nation with her battle against brain cancer will be honored at the Ohio School season opener. 5,000 bobbleheads of Lauryn Hill will be given out to fans on November 14th. The school says the figure will depict Hill scoring her first basket against Hiram last year. Hill passed away after her battle with cancer in April. And Jennifer Lawrence is expressing her frustration about the gender pay gap in the entertainment industry. In an online essay published yesterday, Lawrence says she regrets not asking for equal pay in her role in American Hustle. Lawrence writes she knew she was getting paid much less than co-stars Jeremy Renner, Bradley Cooper, and Christian Bale, but didn't want to seem difficult or spoiled. But now she's over finding adorable ways to state her opinion. And Martha Stewart regrets not buying out Kmart to create K-Martha. In a recent interview, Stewart said she wishes Martha Stewart Living had bought the department store before their partnership soured. Kmart stopped selling Martha Stewart products back in 2009 after more than a decade of selling furniture, towels, and home decor. And lastly, Donald Trump will be putting on his comedian hat this November. The Republican presidential candidate will host Saturday Night Live on November 7th. Trump last hosted the show in 2004 and joins Hillary Clinton as one of only 2 candidates to appear on the show so far this year. That does it for this week's ICYMI segment. If you think we missed something, tweet us at CitrusTV News and let us know. Here's Jared with what's coming up in sports.
Coming up next in sports, we have big news about a Syracuse quarterback. Also, we have highlights from last night's men's soccer game, as well as recaps from yesterday's games in New York. All that and more coming up. next.
If you see news happening on campus in Syracuse or across the nation, call the CitrusTV newsroom 315-443-1177 or tweet at CitrusTV News, your campus news leader.
Staring contest!
You still got it.
I know.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Well, we now know why one SU football player hasn't seen a snap yet this season. Yesterday, it was announced that quarterback A.J. Long was medically disqualified by team doctors. Long suffered from multiple concussions during his football career, yet none of them were reported. The sophomore was also nursing an arm injury and had not played in any games this season. Last year, Long played in 6 games and passed for over 900 yards with 4 touchdowns as a true freshman. SU hosted Bowling Green last night down at the SU soccer stadium in the first half. There was a nice shot on net there by the Orange. It is saved though there by Nick Landsberger. Then later in the first half, Ben Polk bringing it down, and he hits it home there. Nice goal. They take a 1-0 lead. In the second half, here comes Julian Boucher. Nice shot, nice header right in the net. That's his 5th goal of the season. Then, of course, later in the game, here comes Louis Cross. Kind of an awkward goal, but it trickles in. Final score 3-0. And up next for the Orange, they host 4th-ranked Clemson on Saturday. Well, the SU football squad has seen early success from the deep freshman class that has stepped up to fill some big roles. Citrus TV's Brianna Adams has more on one of those players, running back Jordan Fredericks.
SU offense is making a few changes to their starting lineup following the loss to USF. Freshman running back Jordan Fredericks will reportedly be starting this weekend against UVA. The freshman did not hear the news from his coaches, though, but rather in an unusual way.
I was just laying in bed in between classes, and I got a tweet that, Jordan Fredericks top of the depth chart.
So Twitter's a good thing, right?
I guess. Yeah.
Fredericks started this season as backup for junior running back Devontae McFarland, yet Fredericks' performance proved worthy of a starting job. The freshman currently leads all running backs in rushing attempts, yards gained, and rush touchdowns, one of those touchdowns being the game-winning TD against CMU.
That one touchdown he made 3 moves in like 3 steps. It happened fast, and then I'm up in the booth so I could see the replay. And it was, that was an impressive thing. So he's been really comfortable doing it. He's continued to consistently produce, and so now we're going to give him a chance to, get the, the other guys are still going to play, but we're going to give him a chance to be out there early on because we have started slow, and I've talked to our guys about that, and he's, when he goes in, he always helps us get that first couple of first downs to get us going a little bit. So hopefully, he can spark a little bit of more momentum early.
Fredericks and the Orange will be taking on the Cavaliers down in Charlottesville this Saturday. Reporting from the Manley Fieldhouse, Brianna Adams, Citrus TV.
Thanks, Brianna. Well, right now, the SU women's volleyball team is in Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts, taking on ACC rival Boston College. The Orange come into the game with a 4-2 conference record after losing to Pittsburgh and beating Virginia Tech at home over the weekend. The Eagles are not doing as well with a 1-5 ACC record, and right now, the Orange are up 2-0 in the 3rd set. Last night, fans left Citi Field in disgust as the Mets could not close out the series against the Dodgers. Los Angeles popped out to a 3-run lead in the 3rd inning and did not look back. New York would score a run off of a Daniel Murphy homer in the next inning, but Clayton Kershaw was just too much for the Mets. Kershaw went 7 innings, only allowing 3 hits and 8 strikeouts. The series will be decided tomorrow night in LA. The first pitch is scheduled for 8 o'clock. Well, it was just not the city of New York's night last night as the Rangers lost to the Jets 4-1 as well. Winnipeg netminder Michael Hutchinson came up with 40 saves in the contest. Matt Zuccarello managed to score the lone goal for New York as the Blue Shirts suffer their first loss of the young season. The Rangers head north to Montreal to take on the undefeated Canadiens tomorrow at 7:30.
All right, Jared, going back to SU football, they got rid of A.J. Long due to the concussions. What impact will this have on the team?
Actually, I think it's a better impact for the Orange going forward because you have two quarterbacks in Eric Dungy and Zach Mahoney that show that they can come in. They're young freshmen. They can come in and they can play and take control of the team. And they also have a decent recruiting class. If they can, I think they have a 3 or 4 star recruit quarterback coming in. You know, if they can really lock him in, the quarterbacks for the Syracuse Orange are going to be just fine for the next couple of years.
All right, well, we surely hope so. Jared, thanks. And we want to let you know we'll be sitting down with A.J. Long for an exclusive interview to tell his story and debate the surrounding concussions and football. What players can do to keep themselves safe on the field. That's next week. But after the break, will we continue to break out our coats for this fall?
And the word YOLO is getting a stormy new meaning.
We'll be right back.
On the women's basketball team.
And I'm Trevor Cooney of the men's basketball team.
And the season is right around the corner.
You can get your first look at the teams at Orange Madness on Friday, October 16th.
Come watch us at the Carrier Dome for the first time this season. There'll be a dunk contest.
And after the scrimmages, come get selfies with the teams.
Hope to see you there. We nailed it. Killed it.
Every proper bear knows that the right fit means everything. Especially when it comes to car seats.
Oh, really? I just did what any bear would do.
So know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size.
I like it.
To learn more, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
Oh, hello there.
Oh, where's that bear?
So Lindsay, what are we expecting when we wake up in the morning?
We should be seeing a lot of rain, so make sure to wear those rain boots and have that umbrella with you because it's going to be a wet one.
All right, Lindsay, thanks so much. Well, it's already starting to get colder out there, as you know, and the Weather Channel is planning on a tough winter.
They've revealed 26 potential names for big storms in the coming months, including, and we're serious about this, YOLO.
And so when you're snowed in on Christmas or you're stranded on a flight to a tropical vacation and it gets canceled, blame YOLO.
Other names on deck include Goliath, Quo, and Regis.
Well, let's just hope we don't see any of those this winter here in Hughes.
Hopefully not, but we do get the golden snow globe every year.
Oh my goodness. Well, for Hunter Saenz and Caroline Strange, that's all the time we have for you tonight. Have a good night. Be sure to check us out on CitrusTVnews.net, and we'll see you tomorrow.